Hey, good afternoon, everybody. So there was a line in this morning's Daf Yomi that caught my eye, and I thought I had spoken about it before in the past in the Temin Halacha shir, but I could not find it anywhere online. Maybe I haven't. I just don't have good searching skills. But the line that caught my eye was that the Gemara quotes something from someone by the name of Rami Bar Tamri, Chamua de Rami Bar Dikuli. Rami Bar Tamri, who was the father-in-law of Rami Bar Dikuli, which means that the father-in-law and son-in-law had the same name. Now that is against Beferish Tzavas Rabbi Yehuda Chassid to have a son-in-law and a father-in-law with the same name. So the shaila becomes, is it mutter to marry someone, whether it be a father-in-law, son-in-law, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law with the same name, and more importantly than whether it's than that discussion, because we're going to see there's not much in halacha against that, but more importantly is how do you manage it? How do you then deal with calling your spouse around the house when your husband or wife, whatever, depending on which direction it goes in, has the same name. Now it should be pointed out that there is an alternate girsa in the Gemara. The Rif in Maseches Chulin has the girsa, and it's pointed out on the side of the page, and that goes for Tzionim on the side of the page, that it's Rami Bar Tamri Dehu Rami Bar Dikuli. It makes sense. His father's name was Tamri and Dikuli, Dekel and Tamar. It's probably there's some theme over there in terms of the name of the father. So the alternate case, but there are other Gemaras in Shas. There are other Gemaras in Shas also where we see that a father-in-law and a son-in-law have the same name. It also could be that one of them is spelled Rami with Reish Aleph Mem Yud, and the other one is Reish Mem Yud, and it could be that they're pronounced differently. The Tshuva Zakan Aaron Chelet Beisim and Samach makes that ha'ara. So let's first talk about whether there's any problem with marrying someone with the same name as a parent, and then we'll talk about how to manage that situation. So as far as doing it in the first place, so it's a Tzavas Rabbi Yehuda Chassid, where he says that you're not supposed to do it, and he doesn't give any reason for it. So the Achronim try to figure out what the reason is. Why can't you marry somebody that has the same name as your parents? So in the Chuvas Pri Asada Chelikal of Simin Samach Tes, he says it's Ayin Hara. Somehow that it's going to be an Ayin Hara, that if there's a Gzar Din against one of the people, it's going to go on the wrong person, it's going to land in the wrong spot in the family, and it's not a good thing. Okay, second possibility, in the Hagos Yad Shaul in Yeridea Simin Reish Mem, he says, no, the problem is they're going to be living in the same house, and the husband's going to be Tovea's wife for Tashmish or something like that, and he's going to call her name, and the wrong woman's going to show up. It's going to be his mother, and they're going to get confused, and that would be tragic, obviously. A third explanation is the Chuvas Dvar Eliyahu in Siman Lamed Beis. He says very simply, it's a lack of kavod, meaning you're going to be calling someone by the same name that your parent has. That's the most pashut reason, right? Meaning that if you're calling someone that has the same name as your parent all the time, so you're always using your parent's name, and a lot of times probably in front of them. So that would be the most obvious reason not to marry someone. Why Rabbi Yehuda Chassid would have been upset about this. There is a fourth reason suggested by Rav Reuven Margolios in the Makar Chesed on the Sefer Hasidim, where he suggests that the concern is that a lot of times people like that their grandchildren or great-grandchildren should be named after them after they died. But if the mother's still alive, they can't name after the baby because the Ashkenazim don't name after the living, and it's going to cause a problem. I actually have a Talmud whose mother will not let him go out with any girl that has the same name as his grandmother who's deceased, because then it's guaranteed that your children aren't going to be named after my mother. I said, that's a little short-sighted. It's guaranteed that name is going to stay in the family for a while. If not that generation, then the next generation. Okay, whatever. Unfortunately, he's still single, but he keeps getting red girls with that name, like over and over and over again. It's like a cruel joke. But anyway, so l'may nafkamina, which of the reasons apply? So which of the reasons is correct? So it could be that if they don't live in proximity to one another, that would be nafkamina. So both in terms of being in the middle of the night, that the wrong one's going to come is a very minimal concern if they don't live in the same room as each other, and if they don't live near each other, how often is it going to happen that you're going to call somebody by the wrong name? Most obvious nafkamina is if there's mechila, that if a parent is mochel mochel on their kavod. So then they could be mochel on that perhaps. And if that's the whole concern, so then mechila l'chora should work. That does not mean that the child should say to the parent, you are mochel on your kavod because I want to. The parent has to actually be mochel on their kavod. That's not up to the child to dictate whether the parent is mochel on their kavod or not. Now in the Nodbiuda he says, I don't understand any of this. I don't know why anyone is concerned about this. Nodbiuda Maduratinyana Even Ezer Simnayin Tes. He said, I'm still waiting for my first shaila about someone asking me whether they can marry someone who's not a bas Talmud Chacham, or a girl to ask me that they're going to marry someone who's not a Talmud Chacham. That's beferish in the Gemara that you're supposed to marry a bas Talmud Chacham. And they're asking me all these strange things about things that have no basis in Shas and Poskim. So I don't understand what to do with this. In the Chachmas Adam, in Klal Kuf Chaf Gimel Os Yud Gimel, he says everyone misunderstood Rabbi Yehuda Chassid. Rabbi Yehuda Chassid was only talking about if there are 3 generations of the same name. 2 generations of the same name is not a problem. It's only a problem if it comes down to a 3rd generation. And the Chuvas Imrei Eish in Yeridea Simon Samach says that it shouldn't be a problem at all. However, in the Tzemach Tzedek, Lebowitz Tzemach Tzedek, he not the Kadmon, he accepts the Nodbiuda in general, but he says that there's a different problem if it's dafka a girl marrying someone with the same name as the mother, because that al pi the Arizal, in addition to whatever Nodbiuda says, al pi the Arizal, that's going to be problematic. In the Tzemach Tzedek, he writes in Piskei Dinim and Yardeis and Kuf Tezayin that the fact that the Amoraim did something does not mean that it's not a concern for us. Meaning the Amoraim were very holy people, and if there's some sort of spiritual damage that can come about, maybe they were protected from that damage because they were very holy people. Maybe we're not on that level of kedusha to be protected from that damage. Chassam Sofer writes in Avnezer Siman Chelik Aleph Siman Kuf Tezayin that basically a middle approach, and Kitzur Shulchan Aruch says the same thing. Man de kapid kaptinan lei, man de lo kaptinan lei. If this is the kind of thing that concerns you, so good, should be concerned. If it's not the kind of thing that concerns you, then you don't have to be concerned. Okay, so let's say you're going to marry somebody that has the same name as a parent. So now what do? Are you allowed to call them by their name when your parent is there, when your parent's not there? Are you limited in any way? So the Gemara in Kiddushin Daf Lamed Aleph and Beis tells us that Chacham Mishana Shemav v'Shem Rabbo. When a Chacham is saying a shir and he's quoting his father or his Rebbe, he should change the name. He shouldn't call them by their name. The Gemara in Sanhedrin goes even further. On Daf Kuf Amud Aleph, the Gemara tells us that call someone an apikoros. It gives examples of who is an apikoros. Rav Nachman Amar Zakori Rabbo Bishmo. To call your Rebbe by his name, presumably the same would apply to a father as well. Now the Rambam quotes this halacha in 2 different places. In Hilchos Mamrim Perek Vav Halacha Gimel, the Rambam writes, Al Yikra lo bishmo, lo b'chayev, lo b'moso, elo omer Abamari. Don't call your father by his name even after he's dead. You don't call him by his name, you say Abamari. And Hilchos Talmud Torah Perek Hey Halacha Hey, he says, Asalo l'Talmud l'kros Rabbo b'shmo v'afilu shelo b'fanav. But then he adds, V'ushiyah Shem Peli, shekalo Shameya Yeda Shu Ploni. That's only if it's an unusual name. If his name is Moshe, his name is is Avram Yitzchak, so then it's not an unusual name, but it's only a problem if it's an unusual name. Shulchan Aruch and Reish Mem Sif, no one's 100% sure. We'll get to the Rambam later, but the Shulchan Aruch passes in Reish Mem Sif Beis, Lo Yikrenu B'Shmo, Lo B'Chayev, Lo B'Moso, Lo Omer Abamari. Right, like that first Rambam. Now the question is, okay, so you're not supposed to call your parent by their name. What if somebody else has that same name? Are you allowed to call that person by the same name that your parent has? So the Rambam in Hilchos Mamrim Perek Vav Halacha Gimel has a chiddush. How do I know it's a chiddush? Because the Rambam tells you it's a chiddush. The Rambam writes, Hayashem Aviv Shem Rabbo Kishem Acherim Mishana Es Shemam. You should change the name when you call them. Yira Eli. It's a chiddush. She'ein nizer b'kachal b'shem shu pella. That only applies to a shem peli. She'ein akol dashen bo. Aval Hashem v'shekorin ben Masa'am kugon Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Chayotzi bo. But any of the common names, b'kol lashon, b'kol zman, kori ben lacherim shelo b'fanav ve'in b'kach klum. If your father's name is Moshe and you have a friend named Moshe and your father's not around, there's no problem with calling your friend Moshe. That's what the Rambam says. As long as it meets 2 criteria, it's a normal name and your father is not around. The Torah doesn't know where the Rambam gets this from. He says, he says it's a tema that he says that, and it seems that the Torah fully disagrees with this din, and he holds that you're even allowed to call somebody else by their name in front of your father, which would mean that the person who married a girl with the same name as his mother, or the girl who married a guy with the same name as her father, would be able to refer to her husband by his name, even in front of the father, it sounds like from the Torah. The Radvaz on the Rambam also doesn't know where the Rambam got it from, and he writes, Yesh Tamein al Divrei Rabbeinu lama leyukra es acherim b'shem avvo rabo, v'yesh l'taritz kivin sh'Hashem upeli hashomei choshev shekar es aviv v'ikazilusa. That if it's an unusual name, it's going to look like you're calling your father, and that's going to be a zilusa. So the Gura says, I have a simple maramakum for the Rambam. I can tell you where the Rambam got it from. He got it from Abaye. Abaye's name was Nachmeni. Rabba called him Abaye because his father's name was Nachmeni, and everyone also called him Abaye except for Rabba, who would call him Nachmeni. Everyone else called him Abaye just out of kavod for Rabba, who raised him, because Rabba was Rabba bar Nachmeni. It's a reference to Rashi in Gittin Daf Lamed Dalet and Beis that Abaye was called that because he was raised by Rabba bar Nachmeni, even though his real name was Abaye, and he was later also named after Nachmeni, Rabba's father. So that's a machlokas exactly how that happened. Which was his real name? Was Nachmeni his real name, or was Abaye his real name? No, Lamaisa, how do we paskin? You have someone else that has the same name as your parent, and you're trying to call them. So Shulchan Aruch writes, Hayishem aviv kashem achirim, mishan shmam imu shem shupeli, shena hakol regilim likrosbo. He implies that there is no isser whatsoever if it's a normal name, but he also implies that if it's an unusual name, it's asr even shalom b'fanav. That it all depends, normal name or unusual. So if the name is any common name nowadays, sounds from the simple reading of the Shulchan Aruch that it's going to be a problem to call your spouse by that name. The Drisha is quoted by the Shach and Sivkat and Gimel. He says, no. In order to be asr, it needs to be an unusual name and in front of the father. If either one of those is not present, then it's going to be mutter. So it's the opposite extreme. Chai Adam writes that in order to be asr, it needs to be a shem peli and also in front of the father. However, Rav Moshe says that things have changed nowadays. No one calls their father by the name. Everyone calls their father dad or abba or tati or something like that. So even the Ramah would say that a regular name can be called even in front of him. If you're calling your spouse, no one's going to think that you're calling your father by his first name because nobody does that. Says Rav Moshe. Tamar Amash also likros acherim sheshmam k'shemav b'fanav af k'shenu shem peli hu k'tamataz. Your father will think you're calling him, and other people will think you're calling him. So if there's no makom litos, where no one's going to have that thought, so then it's not a problem. So that's what Rav Moshe writes. I think the most common practice is that when it's in front of the father, you make up a pet name for your spouse. They should call it honey, dear, sweetheart, whatever. I don't know. People have other names that are not as complimentary, but you should call it something else for your spouse, so that it's obvious that you're not calling father by the name. My sister-in-law is a great-granddaughter of Moshe Feinstein. So I asked my brother, what did Rebbitzin Tendler call Rabbi Tendler? Because Rabbi Tendler was Rabbi Moshe David Tendler, and Moshe Feinstein was Rabbi Moshe Feinstein. So did she call him Moshe in front of? So my brother said, by the time he came into the family, Rav Moshe was no longer alive. So I don't know what she called him in front of Rav Moshe, but I can tell you that every time I saw them interact, she always called him Moshe. She didn't call him Moshe, she called him Moshe. And he said, I can guarantee you there is no one on this planet that called Rav Moshe Feinstein Moshe. So that was a pretty safe bet that she was calling him something that left no room for any mistake as to who they were referring to. Okay, everyone have a great day.